Good morning, everyone. I'm Catherine Ross with TheStreet. I'm here on the floor of the NYSE with Jim Cramer. Jim, how are the markets looking to you?
They're like Notre Dame, which we just spent some time. I have to love the school. I have a soft spot. The guys who played in the '88 team are here. All right, so let's go over. I was talking to my friend Stephanie Lake, whom I just love. She was Action Alerts for years.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. She was my partner for years and years and years. And she's just great. We were talking about the only time that the S&P oscillator was this negative, consistently, where you start getting down, was unfortunately in 2008. And what I've been saying is that that's the only time the oscillator failed me, okay? It got so oversold and just stayed oversold and stayed oversold and stayed oversold. And, that's kind of that's like your worst nightmare, okay? And this is a really important day because we have to demonstrate that we can shake off what Jay did. And it has to happen today. We have to bounce because that's how negative the oscillator is. It's just, we have to bounce. And if we don't, then systematically what you're going to have to say is this bear market can't be shaken at all. I see prominent stocks like Walmart. I had Walmart.com Jet on the other day, Mark Lowry. I thought the story was amazing, just amazing. Boom, just getting killed, okay? I've had Carnival on all the time. Carnival went to the lower end of the range. Now, the stock has been going down, 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 and they keep saying that 2019 is going to be great. What people would have felt is that therefore they would have raised their forecast. No, they shaded it down, the lower end down. ConAgra is doing everything it can to turn itself around, but their organic growth was minus 1.6. Not good, okay? Walgreens I actually like, but they didn't blow away the number, and they basically just, they kept the forecast intact. I'm used to Walgreens blowing out the number and raising the forecast. So what we keep seeing are the fundamentals are deteriorating. They are. The reaction to anyone who doesn't boost forecast is vociferous. Typically what would happen would be muted, okay? If you cut your forecast, you get hammered. If you did the number, you kind of stay the same, no reason to buy or sell. And if you burst through, then you buy the stock. Now, that middle tier, you do the number, all that does is cause less selling than you get if you miss. And that's the big change. So if you have earnings and you have sales that are just okay, but the reaffirmed forecast, that stock's going down hard. And that's interesting. Reaffirmed forecast, stock goes down hard. That's a change. That's the bear.
Interesting.
Remember, so you have the same, I'm trying to get this clear for people.
Yeah.
You have the same piece of information, and it's viewed much more negatively. So a reaffirmation of your sales and earnings targets is just going to crush your stock. It's going to crush it. Now, if you actually miss, forget it. There's really no level that people won't sell. They'll just sell. There's no level they won't sell. You have to raise your forecast dramatically to keep your stock flat. Keep it flat. That's the bear. That's what we're doing. I've got to tell you, I don't like it. And I'm trying to make that point. I don't like it. And as long as we continue to have a situation where if you raise forecast, your stock's okay, and if you don't raise forecast, your stock is crushed, well, that's just not anything that we've seen in years and years and years. And that's where we are. This is a very different kind of bear. Very different from the 2008, 2009 bear. And I think a lot of people are misinterpreting things I've been saying about Jay Powell. I don't want him to move the stock market up, or I wouldn't have been in favor of yesterday's hike. What I wanted was, now we have to wait and see if he were more deft, he would have said, okay, here's what's going on. We've got to raise because of employment. I have to raise. I wish I didn't have to because it's bad for the working person. I know that. And it's going to hurt the stock market. I know that. He should have just said that. But the problem is that I don't want wage inflation. There are so many signs, though, that there are parts of the economy that are rolling over. Now I got to wait to see whether it's us that's doing it or not. And that would have been fine. That's what I wanted.
And I want to point out real quick, for anyone who didn't read your Real Money column yesterday or didn't watch our show yesterday, you called that the market was going to go down 500.
I said it'll be down 500 and we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
and
you said it would move 500 in either direction, and you were right. It dropped 500.
Thank you for pointing that out. It's so funny. It's so discouraging me on Twitter. Like, people just said, oh my God, Cramer just called himself rich. No, what I was saying is that wealthy people, I'm very lucky to have done well in my life. Okay, I'm very lucky to have where I am. And if and what the Fed did is very good for me, because it gave me the right to be able to have a nice fixed income as I get older. I don't need to go and be a big gunner in the stock market, because I've done well and I'm fortunate and I'm lucky. Whatever you want to say, I lived in my car for 6 months, for heaven's sake. So I feel a little blessed that I'm where I am. I feel very blessed. But it is harder for the working person to make money in this environment, and I felt that the working person should have been right. Finally, they started getting some wage inflation, and I think that's okay, small price to pay. But Jay doesn't. He's very conservative, very traditionalist, and he also has a problem from the federal deficit. He should have been selling his bonds. Thank you, Matt Horway. I say it. Matt always likes to hear that because he's right. Should have been selling the bonds. He just didn't handle it right. He didn't handle himself right, and I know him. He's a really good guy, and I just wish that I could talk to him, just a one-on-one, just say, listen, here's some tips. And there's a lot of people who bridle at my even saying that. Why? I've been called, the Eagles called me in. I didn't play football. I have some tips. I have the Phillies were going to bring me in if they started doing badly. They want to hear another view, and I think Jay should have an outside view. I would love to have lunch with Jay Powell. Also make it clear that I don't hate him. I know he's the guy. But I just would like to give him a little more sense of how he can tell his story in a way that is not as faux positive. Because it's not positive. I don't think he should be doing it. I don't, look, 2 hikes, maybe we will need them. How do we know them? How can you just say that we need 2 hikes? I mean, with the GDP, when you lower your forecast for the GDP, it's almost moronic. But he's not a moron. So we really got to figure out what happens. I just want to explain to him that that's not what you do. But he might say, well, that's just a TV guy. But I was more than a TV guy. That's all.
I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about Tilray, because I know that
that's... Can I
that's...
say one more thing?
Yes, go for it.
I'm not asking for him to move the stock market up. I want people to understand that. That's not the concern I have. The concern I have is Main Street and wages and the ability for people to make enough money so that they can put money away. That's what I'm talking about. Not the idea that the stock market should go up on him, but that there's enough money to invest and save. That's what I was hoping for. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, because everyone was saying, Jim, is this a they know nothing moment? I said, no, because that didn't work. I mean, in retrospect, it looked good, but it didn't work. And I should have been more effective. And there was a time on the Today Show where Meredith Vieira asked me if I was yelling, or she might have been Curry. I don't know, nice person, ain't Curry. Was I yelling fire in a crowded theater? And I said, yes, but there was a raging fire, and so you want people to get out. Okay, we don't have that now. It's not systemic, but it's still my job to try to help people make money. In other words, I think you can buy some stocks, or else we would just go into cash for action alerts. But it's just a different kind of thing. I mean, we've been recommending buying United Health, buying Disney, and they just keep going down. I'm cognizant of that. So now I got to use a wider scale and say, wow, okay, let's just keep some of our cash left, sell losers, and it's a cautionary tale right now. So let's talk Tilray.
Yes, so let's talk Tilray.
It's our stock of the day.
It is real money stock of the day. And some could say that their deal is a little bit more mellow. They made a deal with Anheuser-Busch,
right,
which I want to talk to you about because you have been so bullish on cannabis.
Yes.
You've been bullish on Canopy Grow.
Now that hasn't necessarily yielded profits, okay? And Constellation's not been a good stock, but the market's not good. Constellation's down really badly. We were going to, it's in the bullpen. We now feel that we got to see what's happening. That's okay. We've been reluctant to, when you see United Health down 6-0 because it wasn't made the best idea, Cigna was, wow. But the reason why the Tilray deal is so important is that it's a split deal. They had health, and now they had entertainment, so to speak, and health. And what this tells you is how big this market is. Constellation similarly split. The health issues, what they use it for medical science, are being kept, okay, by Canopy, and they're giving the liquid to Constellation to make leisure drinks, to make, to get you drunk, whatever you want to call it. And Tilray's doing a very different strategy. They're doing a Novartis, they have a health company coming in. It Canopy regards it as a health company. So it's a different strategy. At our teaching, if you want to go back to the teaching, you'll hear that there's a really interesting moment that infuses my Tilray thinking, which is that I asked Bill Newell, who's going to be the new CEO of Constellation, how do you, is THC, is that like proof? In other words, if you have, like, say, 10% THC, is that like 40 proof? I mean, what's the wine?
I remember this moment.
What's the beer? What's the wine? And what's the hard liquor? And what's the Southern Comfort? And they didn't know. He said they have to do this. So therefore, I think Tilray's doing the same thing. They don't know. And until they really know, then it's going to be a strange recreational market. Because you don't know whether something's going to hit you. I've not had a cannabis beer, all right? But how do you know if 2 beers is enough so you can drive? 2 cannabis beers, so to speak. So people don't know. And Tilray's doing the right thing, trying to find it out, but they're all trying to find out. They don't know what the right level THC is. This is not CBD. This is to get high. Mm-hmm. CBD can make you sleepy. THC juices you. And they don't know what the proof is. Yeah. So that's what we have to watch.
It's very experimental right now.
Oh, is it ever?
One other deal that I want to talk about is the Altria Juul deal.
Oh my, are they desperate there at Altria? Now, I was a little cynical today. I watched my late father-in-law die of lung cancer, and anyone who's seen that and the way they unfortunately want a cigarette, it changes your mind about I actually recommended them for a long time because they were income producing. And I feel bad that I ever did that. I just think that now it's actually the numbers are bearing out what I thought would eventually happen, which is it's now a step function down. But the reason why it's step function down is because of Juul. Now, Juul is adamant that that you have to be 21, right? Well, think about this. My wife's on a committee. She's on the board of Bucknell. The biggest issue is drinking. Well, I mean, those kids aren't 21. Let's take Juul at its word. Yeah, that's great, good. So people can die of lung cancer when they turn 21. But the problem is that liquor is so attractive to young people on college campuses, and it's taboo. But it doesn't matter; they do it. And this has got that same sex appeal, and I think it's unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate thing.
Now, Jim,
but Altria's desperate. They're losing big share to Juul.
This is our final video for 2018.
Yeah. That's why I went so long.
I know, and
Nostalgic.
I want to... Exactly.
I love working with you.
Thank you. I love working with you, too. One thing that I want to wrap it up with is just asking about you, because we haven't talked about you in a while.
Me?
Yeah, how are you doing?
What have I do? I've had enough Christmas parties I had the CNBC on-air talent, the CEO Christmas party. I had the CNBC Christmas party. I had the Mad Money Christmas party, and I had the Squawk on the Street Christmas party, and I had the Street Christmas party.
Oh my God, that's so many Christmas parties.
And I'm done. I'm done. My wife said last night, enough. No more drinking for you. No more eating. And I got up this morning. It's like, oh my God, thank God I don't have to go out tonight. I'm like thrilled. I mean, I get to stay home.
With Marley. And Everest.
Everest is, Everest seems sad today. Oh. I don't know why. As soon as I get up at 4:45. Everest waits 1 minute, and then he jumps in where I would sleep in bed, and he didn't today. I don't know why. He was down on the sofa downstairs. Neither one of us could figure it out. Didn't understand why he was on the sofa.
Yeah, that's
made
weird.
Me feel like that maybe he's feeling Marley's taking over.
Maybe he's afraid that you're not getting him enough Christmas gifts.
That could be, because Marley gets a lot of toys. Marley plays with every single toy. He likes it right now. Today he's playing with the shoe toy. It looks like it's a shoe. It looks like one of those Dutch shoes. So I'm okay. We were at Longshoreman last night, which is Lisa's place, co-owned with Michelle Ewan, and we had a sit-down party.
Oh, that's
sit-down
nice.
dinner party. It's kind of a nice change. And obviously I'm going to the Eagles with my daughter and her buddies.
I was going to ask.
And I'm very excited about that. You're welcome to come if you want. I have an extra ticket.
Thank you.
If you want to come, bring your significant other, whatever. I've got two there. It's an actual invite. I'll give it to you right here. If you really want to go, I can give them to you. Think about it. Sunday, because she was supposed to take all this, and she didn't. She said, "Dad, I don't need all the tickets." Which is like, okay, that's fine. So that's my plan, and I don't know. That's kind of it, and then I'm going away, but secret where I'm going.
All right, Jim. Have fun on your vacation.
It's been great year working with you. I really enjoy it. Yet we talk about stock of the day, but we also talk about real life. And I've been telling Catherine that what I like about these videos is you have these different personas, right? I mean, I've got Mad Money and I've got Squawk on the Street, but I can be far breezier and talk about things that matter to me. And that's why I'm very grateful for working with you.
I'm very grateful to work with you too. Thank you, Jim. It's been a great 2018 and I'm looking forward to 2019. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you in 2019.